talk about was allocated when there was no minister. The minister left May 29th, 2023. By June, the land had been allocated.
By
Director of Lands.
No, but he said he got approvals from the former FCT minister.
If I tell you so many things, it is not as they, you see, these are the things they are clever by half. When we all met, it's okay. Company B, this, don't do anything again. Until we're able to take a final decision. Do you know what happened? These guys, thinking they're too smart, went on, started fencing, and then allocated the land to people to buy. How did I know? A lady came and said, look, Honorable Minister, I want you to advise me that the place I want to buy land. I said, where are you buying land? He said, so area. I said, hey, no, we're having problem with the person. Don't. Another time the lady came back. It's a friend of mine, came back. I said, look, you're telling people are buying buildings. Say what? Now I was going to commission the biggest water park at Sunrise. So I passed, it was the same area. I thought, what is going on? Then I commissioned the water park. And then, do you know that for me to commission that water park, it was a Friday. On a Thursday, this same company called Praco and their allies have gone to court, stopping me from commissioning the water park project. And aligned with the LCT lawyer. You see how fraudulent this case can be? Unfortunately, they didn't get the injunction. I drove from that place, came back, and called the general counsel. Come, who is doing this case for FCT? He says an external lawyer. External lawyer? Call the external lawyer. Get us our file back. How can you go and compromise with a plaintiff against us? I mean, I've never seen people who are so fraudulent in life. What they do here, they sue you, they sue me as FC minister. I'm not aware of the suit.
Because he claimed that there are two subsisting court decisions.
Hold on. Look, you know these guys, they think we're PDP Anambra State. That is their job. They have court judgments in their pocket. These are people, that's how they keep PDP in Anambra State. They can produce court orders, judgments overnight.
Did you see how he's twisting the whole thing? Something that has been in existence before you. You know, that's what they do in Nigeria, right? You will see an investor that will buy massive expanse of land, okay? And maybe to build estates. Then they'll begin to build where you can start buying the already built houses, or you can buy land within the area to build your own. Is that not what they do in Nigeria? So this man presented evidence of how he got his land for a long time, years before Wike. But because Wike was interested in that land, so he told them to stop building on it. I want you to stop. So he started using the words like, as if to say there were actually conflict over the land. There was no. There's no conflict, no nothing, no. The same way it's been going about in Abuja. Story of Wike in Abuja is so pathetic. Like, I'm not saying that they are right, because it's that same Abuja. You have lands that were gifted to politicians by different governments, senators, ministers, their children, even the El Rufai of Kaduna, when he was a minister of the FCT. There were lands that he allocated to himself, his family members, his children, right? But this is a businessman that got tens of acres of land that was meant to be developed into estates. And with the Wike, when he saw it, he felt like, who is building all these houses here? He said, so company. Really? Tell them to stop building. Why? Just tell them to stop building. We need this land. The government will need this land. But the person had all the papers and everything. So when they heard about that, they quickly went to court so that the court can tell him that, hey, mister, stay away. So when Wike developed his own story, company A, company B, company C, company D, company E. So I wanted to go and commission a water park in the area. And I said, hey, see, that's how they do in Anambra. They have the courts in their pocket in Anambra. What it concern Anambra and the land you wanted to take from these people? The man categorically said, they met with him. You know, the Nigerian way, mister, what do you want us to do? To leave our land alone? I don't want you to do anything. I am taking the land. A lady came to me and said, Minister, please advise me. I want to buy this land. I said, which land? This one. Hey. I said, no. Then he changed the whole story to some people are sabotaging them. The lawyers. How can you be a lawyer of the FCT? And then you are working with the plaintiff. You are, yeah. This is it. This one is before Julius Berger. Oh no. Listen to the man's full story here, because the man is like, man, this is sad. They paid billions of naira for the land. They have all the documents, including the CFO approval. Ministerial approval is to say you don't settle the minister. So the minister before Bello, the last one, probably got settled, paid. When Bello came and wanted to, they also paid him. And they got approval as usual. But with a Wike, doesn't want to be paid like anything. He needed the land. Here is the story. Before this, Julius Berger, please pay attention, okay? Because it is all similar. It is very Wike.
What happened yesterday was all of a sudden, our project managers and all the ETCs of them are in the site working. The next thing that we had is that both police, both Navy, both Army, both the civil defense, all of them converge in the site with caterpillars for demolition of the properties.
Now, before this happened, did you receive any notice?
We didn't receive any notice, but 2 weeks ago, they sent the caterpillar and demolished a small portion of the fence. That is the only kind of notice that we received. And when we saw that, on our inquiry, we discovered that the Honorable Minister, Wike, was interested in the property. So we quickly went to the court to report to the court, because already there are 2 different court judgments over that property. And outside the 2 different court judgments, we now went into the court and asked court that this is what is actually happening. In view of that, the court now issued a court order. Then we went to the other part of it, because the lands are in 2 different documents, and also secure another court order stopping that nothing should be done.
So confirm for us again the title you have over this land.
We have offer letters and we have certificate of occupancy.
Now, has there been any dispute over this land between you and any other party?
Yes, originally the land that was given to us is including where the Sunrise are now. But all of a sudden, without even revoking of our title,
part of it was cut and given to Sunrise, and they started developing that area. But during the time of last year reconciliation, when we have the judgment on the order of mandamus, there is a kind of reconciliation which they have said, okay, part of where the Sunrise are developed already, not where they are also developing, that we should concede it to them and take over the other part of it that have not been developed, and some area where they are about developing. That was what was reached. And in view of that, the whole settlement was done and all our documents was released back to us. Right. So issue of being in contention does not even arise, because if the land is in contention and a demolition ought to be made, it will be in two parties now. Why is it that they didn't demolish the side of the Sunrise? There is nothing that was done in Sunrise area. They were not demolished.
Now, who oversees this settlement which you talked about, and where did it happen?
The former minister of FCT.
That's Mohammed Bello?
Yes, Mohammed Bello. He was the one that initiated the meeting. And also the director of lands was also in that meeting. Their legal department was also in that meeting. And everything was done. Settlement done. Then even when Wike came, Wike also had that these people now went back to Wike and be agitating back. And a meeting was called. We show our documents. After seeing our documents and on the meeting, Wike said, no, that we should go and sort it out, being that the matter is also in the court. And we left. All of a sudden, after his visit to the site, where he made the statement that he made, how can this land be given to an Igbo man? The next thing is the demolition without even revoking. But that is not the issue. The main issue is there are two court judgments and there is two court order. Why would Wike order for the demolition of this property when those court orders are still insisting and the court judgment are still there? None of them was appealed. Nobody has appealed for the judgment of those courts. Nobody has vacated the court orders on this matter. If all these two things are not being done, how will you go and start demolition? What kind of banana country that we are into? Where there is no rule of law and obedient to the court orders and judgment, then the anarchy will abound. So I'm still insisting that, seriously speaking, for President Tinubu to allow Wike to remain in his cabinet is very, very dangerous to this democracy. Because we even had with authority that he was told that there is court order, everything. He said they should go ahead and demolish. How can a leader, these are the kind of leaders we have in this country, how can Wike insist that demolition should go on when he was told that there is court judgments and there is court order? Why would he say that the demolition should continue? It's very, very amazing. He ought not to say so.
Now, what is the interest of Sunrise in this particular plot?
Their interest cannot be more than where they are, because already they have nothing. As at the time the portion was given to them, my own title was not being revoked. So if we want, we can even take it over from them. But we say let the peace reign and allow their portion to be. Let them bring the revocation documents that give them a title. Can you give somebody a title when the other one was not revoked? Our documents are not being revoked as I'm talking to. We are not serving any distance. If they did, it's between them. No service that shows that these properties are revoked.
Really sorry that I did my best to get the audio up as possible, but it is the least, I mean, the most I could possibly get it up to. Okay. So, yeah, the whole thing is about land grabbing. Land grabbing. It is not just because the man is Igbo. There are others too who have their own allegations. Since Wike became the FCT minister, it's about land, 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 land. Wherever he sees land, and he loves it, he takes it. Because even Tifnumbu acknowledges Wike's love for people's lands. There is no free land in Abuja anymore. Like if you need any land, right, for what do you call it, for maybe government development, then you go and use the government's land. There are lands that are like, this one are like government reserved land in Abuja. Here you get, even the Berger people who owns Abuja, I don't think they have up to 5% of the land in Abuja anymore. The land has been so reallocated, reshared by successive governments in Nigeria, and money has been paid to them. So if you want to take any land for the sake of public interest, like that water park that is built on this guy's land in Abuja, he said, well, for peace and all that, yeah, even though there is no revocation, they haven't revoked their land, right? For peace to reign, they just let go. Only for Wike to bring bulldozers to start demolishing the buildings that they've already erected in that place. Wike makes it look like they started building in on that land after May 2023. That's why he told the media. And that is not true. So it's no longer taking just some of it. He's taking everything. Without any revocation, you started demolishing people's properties there. And these ones have invested billions of naira. I mean, you know about real estate now. They've invested billions, and that billions was what you saw there going up in dust. It wasn't that. Just reason was like his case may be spoiled because he chewed the tribalists in. You are not paying attention, sir. I hope you are going to pay attention. Okay? When the man said, with the Wike uttered that how did an Igbo man get this land in Abuja? Have you ignored the video I played you earlier? Where Wike brought Anambra into it. That's what they do in Anambra. They have all the cuts in their pockets in Anambra. They can procure any of these fake documents, fake judges in judgment. Wait till bring Anambra to Abuja. If you still don't think Wike said, how did an Igbo man, how did he get this land in Abuja? How? To him, who sold this land to him? Did they not know that he's an Igbo man? So the same way Wike who granted interview to this journalist in his office, why did they bring Anambra into it? So you still don't believe that he did say that, Abi? That means you are not paying attention, and I hope you do pay attention. Okay? So, and the tribal part of it is just, well, just outside it now. We're talking about the documentation that is valid and legal. But for Wike, if you want to take anybody's land, how about you compensate them and say, we are taking this land, or this land shouldn't have been sold. So we need to meet and have a chat, okay? Sorry, this is going to affect your business or your plan and all that. But for the sake of public interest, we want to do this here. And you shouldn't have been given approval for this land. We will pay your money back, and we will compensate you for whatever losses you are going to probably, you know, we need this land for so and so. A reasonable person will probably be like, okay, Can you give us another land elsewhere? Or just pay us the compensation for it? But no, that's not what they're doing. Once they take her, they say, go to court. Yeah, go to court. If you go to court, they already have all the judges there waiting to do their bidding. Just in case, for those who didn't hear that part, I'm going to replay this. In fact, hang on, before that. Just so you know that this is not about being an Igbo or Yoruba or Hausa or this. There are other group of people who are also protesting of Wike taking their lands in Abuja. These ones are Islamic group. Listen to their own position.
Many properties in Rivers State under the watch of Nelson Wike that was revoked, which are Muslim-owned in Rivers State, was not reinstated back to those Muslims. Or 65% of the total land that were revoked in the FCT for not building were owned by Muslims and were owned by Northerners. And we know so many applications have been written to the FCT ministers, so many phone calls have been made for him to reinstate back those lands to those people. And up till now, the issue have not been made public. Wike should come out and tell Nigerians, was there any public hearing on the issue of lands that were revoked by Nelson Wike and the application made in front of him in his office to reinstate back those lands or put those lands for a public purchase? No.
Did you hear those ones? They believe that most of the land that were Wike revoked are Muslim people, Muslim land, and Northerners. That's not an Igbo thing. That's from their own perspective, from their own side of, from their own losses. They believe that the victims of Wike, they are Muslims and Northerners. So that you will know that this is not about this tribe or that tribe per se. But Wike himself, in that earlier interview I shared, or I think even, the audio is very low. And I'm going to advise us to please just increase it to the highest on your device. Even if you're watching it on TV, increase it to the highest. Don't worry, it won't kind of blow your eardrum, okay? This is the concluding part of that businessman whose land, hundreds of hectares of land, taken by Wike with no shishi. All this billion, what do you call it, the billion invested here, up in dust. Remember?
That shows that these properties are revoked. But even if all these things are revoked, why will you see 2 court orders and 2 judgments and overlook them? Why? If truly these guys are leaders, if Wike is a leader, how can you see a court order and this judgment and you say you're a lawyer and you went ahead and do this? And this is exactly what he did in Port Harcourt. Once you are in disagreement with him, he go and demolish your property, he go and revoke your property. This cannot be done in Abuja. It cannot be done in Abuja. This place, we own it together. Nobody can claim the ownership of Abuja more than others. Even you are part of the owners of Abuja. And we are law-abiding citizens. Tell me any estate developer that is bigger than I and my brother joined together in this Abuja. Then tell me where we have been lawlessness. We follow law. We follow guidelines. We follow rules. The issue of between us and the sun rising. Sun rising have been defeated in the court. We have 2 different judgments over the issue. We have 2 different court orders over the issue. Sun rising was part of that case. FCT minister, including the FCT itself, are part of the case. And it is in view of that the former minister called for a meeting and resolved the matter. And all our documents that they had before or they seized before was returned back to us. The fresh new offer letter was issued to us. And all the payment that we ought to be paid, which if you calculate then it runs into a lot of money, was paid. So that cannot be as a result of dispute.